The Lord wants to teach us to get into a consecrated place in our minds and hearts and recount the things that God has done for His people and us. He is still doing great things and can do all things. The people who are praying for the move of God will see an answer to many of their prayers. As we ponder Moses' life and how God kept him hidden during the time Pharaoh sent out a decree to murder all the Hebrew baby boys. They had been enslaved for generations under the rule of Pharaoh. He was afraid of the Hebrews because they were populating in great numbers and feared that one day they might rise up against the Egyptians. The plan that the Lord strategized was so remarkable. He allowed Moses to be found nestled inside an ark of bulrushes near the river when Pharaoh's daughter was bathing and discovered by her maids. When she noticed the ark amongst the reeds, she asked the maid to bring it to her. She opened the ark and saw the baby inside, and he wept. That's when she felt compassion for him and realized he was one of the Hebrew children. Next, Moses' sister asked Pharaoh's daughter if she should call for a Hebrew nurse to feed him, and she said go. The girl went to their biological mother. Moses was Israel's leader and God's chosen to deliver his people from Israel from 400 years of slavery in Egypt. The way that God did this whole plan, it included people within his bloodline to help carry out God's will. Sometimes God will use the very people around us or far away to fulfill a purpose in our lives too. So we must not lose hope in trusting Him to do the same for us. Genesis chapter 15, verse 13. Then he said to Abram, know certainly that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs and will serve them, and they will afflict them 400 years. There will be times in our lives when we will have to walk alone. Certainly, the enemy is working overtime to send people that we think are for us, but in the back door, they are conspiring and waiting for the kill. Oftentimes, before someone wants to use you, they will give you something first. I've often seen how nice someone can be at first and showing you their best. Then suddenly they start acting shady towards you and doing things contrary to what you saw at first. People walk in doors that we open by agreeing to have lunch, talking after practicing in the choir, social networking, through acquaintances. Before we know it, they are not good for us. Many of us are in bondage to sin and enslaved by others. It does not matter how they got there because nothing would thwart God's plans. Please understand that we serve a God who has his eyes on us and loves us unconditionally. It doesn't matter about our race, physical disabilities, family, background, financial status, looks, pain, brokenness, and defeat in life. The masks have to come off, and we must lay it down and be transparent with Him. Thank you for listening.